Welcome again to Destination Downtown Joliet. I'm Richard Fredrickson, and a guest we're going to have about every other month so that you and yours, whether you're watching us on Channel 6 or whether you're here on YouTube, we want to keep you updated on what's happening in downtown Joliet. And with that report and update will be my friend Millen, who is the Executive Director of the Joliet Library and also chairperson of the Joliet City Center Partnership. Welcome.
Thank you, Richard.
It's great to have you, and we're going to begin, we're going to open up the curtain on this interview with exciting news that's happening in downtown Joliet at the library.
Right.
So what, pray tell, is going on?
Okay, so at long last, after years of work and hope, Project Burnham, which is our major remodeling project of the downtown Ottawa Street building, has commenced. We began on March 29th. We're calling that Phase 0, which is just kind of some preliminary work. We are redoing 100% the Chicago Street entrance, which most people know has been closed for decades.
Yeah.
That's going to be redone with new doors and will be available as an entrance when this is all finished. We're also doing things like making temporary offices so that when we move out of the Burnham side, the 1903 side of the building, the staff who have offices there will have some place to go. So a lot of that preliminary work is going on right now. There's a lot of jackhammering that my staff is getting used to. The water comes and goes because they're doing plumbing, but that's all the joys of construction.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's exciting.
Are you open during all this time?
We're going to be open 100% of the time. There's 4 phases plus Phase 0, and we plan to be open just about every day that we're supposed to be for it.
Good. I'm going to let Mr. Schuster, who's fooling around with a camera right now, I'm going to let him know that sometime in the middle of May, Channel 6 and YouTube will be covering a special event out in the parking lot.
Right, so we're going to celebrate this groundbreaking by having a ceremony. We're going to be on the parking lot so it can be safely social distance. It's called the Make No Little Plans Party, and that's an allusion to, of course, Daniel Burnham, the architect of the building, and his famous quote, "Make no little plans." And it's an invitation-only party, but it's going to be, there's going to be speakers, the mayor will be speaking, and we'll be celebrating the fact that after so many obstacles that we had to get through to get to this point, and the funding to come available through the state and through the city council, that we're at long last going to be doing this important project.
And don't tell anyone, but although we're not personally invited, you are invited because we're going to be there, and so you'll see it, and you'll be, you know, there might be a possibility on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably around 7.6 that we may even go live on that telecast. We'll see what happens with the Garcia family, if they can put things together for us and make that all happen. What has happened, and I'd like to see and hear your perspective of this and the impact of downtown. Yes, for those of you who have not been downtown Joliet during the pandemic, and maybe even before that, Chicago Street is open.
Yes.
And what difference has that made?
It's a thrill to drive. I still, to this day, it's a thrill to me to drive straight on Chicago Street instead of making that turn to be suddenly in downtown in the city center. I think it makes a big difference to the businesses and restaurants to allow people to just come straight from 80 into the downtown.
Straight on through.
Yes.
And no trucks.
No trucks.
No trucks.
No trucks.
The conversation I had just prior to coming down here, by the way, we are doing the show because of the jackhammers and because of activity at the library. We're doing the show at the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum, indeed. And we give you updates on that, but we're in their new fully furnished, staged instrumentation, all kinds of good stuff. here. Compliments of the board and the executive director and El Presidente, Ron Romero, who's made it possible for us to be down here. And it's a great venue, and we'll be talking more about that as well. And that is also news for downtown Joliet, that I'm told by 2 or 3 different guitar players that this museum will be open sometime later summer of 2021. And for those of you who are still kind of, what year is it? This is 2021. All right? This is paid for and brought your way by the board, staff, and marketing committee from the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum. Thank you for letting us use the stage today. As you come into downtown Joliet and you stop at the stoplight, I've been telling people all week long about this because I just discovered it, and I don't even think Mike Petrie, who bought the Morris Building, which is at Jefferson in Chicago, I'm not even sure he knows this, but I saw this when I was stopped at the stoplight. If you look at the very top of the Morris Building, just below the roof line, there's a mural up there. And it looks like a cityscape of some sort. I can't quite make out what it is. But that will be a mission for you to check out next time you come into downtown Joliet through and on Chicago Street. There are new businesses and activity going on downtown. Too many to we take the entire show. We went through all of the activity going on as far as business development, but just a snapshot or two of what's happening in downtown Joliet with new businesses.
Well, today we got a report from Derek Conley, the Economic Development Director, that the Premier Building is fully occupied on its main floor. There's more people moving into 2 Rialto Square, more businesses, and the lower level is nearly at capacity. The Joliet Area Chamber has moved from its old location to that location, which is great news for that. So.
There's a ton more businesses going on, and let's tie it into the businesses in downtown Joliet, and now you'll want to really listen. Now this program, this show, this interview will be on in April. So what we're about to tell you is happening right now. And that has to do with one of my favorite things to do, and that is to eat.
Right.
And not to be challenged by it, but it is a challenge.
It is a challenge. So the City Center Partnership is sponsoring in April the Eat to Win Challenge. And that is by simply eating at any of the restaurants that are in the City Center Special Service area, which is all the restaurants in the downtown plus any restaurants on Cass Street or Collins Street. If you eat there and you submit your receipt, and there's 3 ways to do it, maybe 4 ways to do it. You can email it, you can text it, you can submit it online, or you can even drop off a paper copy at either of the library branches. You are entered into a weekly drawing throughout April to win $500. And the restaurant that you ate at will also win $500. So that's happening every week. There's a drawing today. By the time you see this, it'll be too late. It's going to be posted on Facebook, I think every Thursday. So the more times you enter, the more better chance you have of winning. And I don't think people realize how many great restaurants there are around here. There's more than 20 different restaurants. There's news that Juliet's is going to be purchased, or is being tried to be purchased by the owner of Cut 158, which is doing great business in the downtown and thriving. So it's a very exciting time for the downtown restaurants, and we're excited to do this promotion to help them and to help the people who are eating there.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun thing. I've talked to folks all week long who have saved their receipts. Even at the restaurant you go into, and I'm going to give you the geographic area of our, what we call our SSA, or Special Service Area, which is included in downtown Joliet, but I'll give you just a few restaurants that you may not be familiar with that are involved in this and our participants. But the geographic area is, do you know where the Jacob Henry Mansion is? That would be, go all the way south on Chicago Street and in that neighborhood, all the way north to Ruby, and then you take Cass Street to the bridge or to the river on the west side and go all the way east to Collins, and then Collins all the way up to just about the prison. All the restaurants, taquerias, bars are all involved in participating in that. Now, you may have a staff member or so who you know, a weekender or a part-timer who may not know. Just get that receipt. Make sure you get the receipt. And if it's paperless, take a picture or photograph. If it's a carry-out, it doesn't make any difference.
No. Carry-out, delivery.
All qualify.
Yeah, walk-in, dine-in.
Yeah.
And you can find out more at jolietccp.com. That's where all this information is.
Yeah, let's put that on the screen if we can so that you folks can see it as well as hear it. A couple of businesses, not all of them, but a couple of businesses that you need to know that are in participation of this is Cardenas Mexican Restaurant, Katrina's. You'll have, of course, Cheesecake by James, the old favorite Chicago Street Pub, Chicken and Spice. And you mentioned Bill and Cut 158 is participating, Elder Brewing Company. The brand new business, really relatively new, came in 2020, is Harold's Chicken. And I discovered Jenny's Bakery, which is real close to the prison on Collins Street. And, let's see, Judge's Bar and K-Ribs, Mr. Kim over there at K-Ribs Barbecue, La Villa, Luna Mexicana, Lupita's Bakery, and on it goes. There's 20-some restaurants, including, I think it's on Wednesday, that you go to the mansion. They have a
Wednesday, carry-out.
A carry-out.
For lunch and dinner, it's the best.
Yeah, and you qualify.
Yes.
So get that receipt, whatever you do. And also going on in downtown Joliet is some upcoming events.
Right. I'm so happy that in 2021 we can talk about actual events. It was really difficult last year to have to cancel one right after the other. And just on a personal note, I'd like to take this opportunity to just say a couple words about Star Wars Day, because it is the library's event and it is, unfortunately, has to be canceled for 2021 as well. It's so early in the year, too early really, to safely bring together the more than 10,000 people that cram into this downtown because of it. And also, unlike some of these other events, it takes over a year of planning. And the reason why is because we need to get special permission from Lucasfilms and from Disney to be allowed to do it because of the copyright issues. And so we have to start that process very, very early in the year to write to them and to get their permissions and to go back and forth on our marketing and our publicity. And so because of the uncertainty that surrounded all of 2022 and even the beginning of 2021, we just had to make that unfortunate decision, but we're hoping to bring it back better than ever next year.
Fun time, great time, Star Wars.
But luckily, there's other things coming to the downtown, and it's going to kick off as soon as May 1st with the Red Carpet Corridor Festival. And as Joliet is part of the Red Corridor, we're at Route 66, we are working with Heritage Corridor to plan some really fun events on Saturday, May 1st. So there's a website for that, check that out. And then City Center Partnership's first event in a couple of years, we'll be bringing back Kids Fest. And everybody loves that right in the downtown, and that's August 7th. And then the next event is kind of a new event, and it's kind of exciting. Bicentennial Park will be hosting a Blues Fest, and that's August 14th. So that'll be at By Park, and it'll be celebrating the blues tradition. The next event will be Including You Family Fun Festival. This happened a couple of years ago before COVID, and I'm happy to see it's coming back on August 21st. And then the CCP's next event will be the return of Tunes and Brews on 66. Everybody loved that. It was just getting going and getting its momentum when COVID hit. So I'm excited to see the local breweries participate. The special brew that the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum will be participating, hopefully, and that's on August 28th, and that'll be in the Fountain Square of the downtown. And then happily, the Chamber has decided to move New Orleans North instead of cancel it to September 11th, so that will be a very popular event in downtown Joliet, and that will be happening September 11th. And then moving on to fall, another event that just got started before COVID was Panic at the Plaza. That's City Center Partnership in conjunction with Audio Phil's Record Store. If you haven't checked that place out, you really should. It's one of the coolest things in downtown Joliet, kind of a hidden gem. And that'll be October 2nd. And that's kind of a fun, scary, Halloween-themed festival for adults. Well, I'll say that, for adults. Then we'll be bringing back with USF, we'll be bringing back the popular parade, Light Up the Holidays Festival. We're still deciding on that date, if it's going to stick with the after Thanksgiving, or some people really liked the lighting of the tree the week after. So we're debating on that date, but it'll be one of those 2 dates.
Okay, I can wait. I want to have summer.
Yes, summer. But
You know, one of the venues and one of the participants that we did have last year is going to be back again with support of the City Center Partnership, and that is music and entertainment on Fridays.
Yes, that is returning. I don't know that we have the exact date. There's a gentleman in this room who might. Excellent. So every Friday, Memorial Day to Labor Day, we'll be having music at lunchtime in the Fountain Square area of the downtown, and people can gather, eat their lunch, and listen to bands. And it would just, last year it was just such a lift to even just walk outside and hear music during that really dark year. So this year will be better than ever, and it'll be great to have that in the downtown.
For sure, for sure. The Dave DiLorenzo from Joliet Junior College is a new chair of what we call the Owners and Managers Association. Tell me a bit about OMA, and then, now I realize this is just for the owners and managers, but having these meetings benefit all of you as well, because there's ideas and plans, future, all come out of the OMA.
Right. So every business or property owner or manager of an organization that's within the special service area is entitled to membership in the Owners and Managers Association. And we've been meeting on Zoom, but we meet quarterly and we have speakers, and we discuss common issues or problems or events coming up, or talk about our businesses. And so the next one is this afternoon, and we're having Lori Carmine come speak. She is the new events coordinator for the City of Joliet, and she's also the executive of Bicentennial Park.
Yeah, right. Now, I think you are, I think you're chair of what I'm about to mention here, the Art Commission?
I'm secretary. I'm not
Secretary.
chair, yes.
Well, it's almost.
I wear a lot of hats. But
Well, tell us about what's happening with the Art Commission in Joliet.
Okay, well, the Arts Commission is a new commission. It's the newest commission, and it got started again right before COVID, and did have to take some time off because of that, like every other commission. But now we're back, and we're doing lots of things. And one of the more exciting things we're working on is a collaboration with City Center Partnership. This summer, to do some artwork, we're going to commission the local arts community to produce either sculpture or some other kind of work of art that represents the spirit of Joliet. That's an open-ended question. It's up to the artist to interpret that. They're going to create 5 pieces. We're going to choose 5 artists. They're going to create 5 pieces, which will then be up for raffle. So they'll be displayed in the downtown. They'll be taken to festivals. They'll be in different businesses over the course of the summer. And then at the very end, people who have bought raffle tickets will be entered to win the works of art. And they can put them in their businesses, their homes, or wherever they want to put them. But I think it's an exciting collaboration. And then the Arts Commission will receive the proceeds of the raffle to have some seed money, because right now the Arts Commission is a commission of the city but doesn't have any money of its own. It's also going after some high-level grants, some national grants, to try to help with that as well. There's lots of fundraising efforts underway along with this, but this is the one that's going to beautify the downtown for the summer and also benefit the Arts Commission. Yeah. So it's an exciting collaboration.
Speaking of beautifying downtown, coming up, I believe in May, is a project that it goes back to, I think was Jim Rull from First Midwest Bank, who was really the motivation factor of getting something going on this. So what happens in May with the cleanup campaign?
Yeah, so every May, we have been doing a clean sweep campaign of the downtown where all the businesses hopefully come together on an afternoon in May and just start, in conjunction with Public Works, and just start cleaning up the downtowns, the alleys, the grounds, the debris that's everywhere, sweeping, bagging up garbage, and just making the downtown look bright and fresh, like it should be.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And let's stay on that subject for a little bit. And I know one of your favorite committees and volunteers are involved in what's called the Beautification Committee.
Yes.
And tell us about that.
Okay, that's a new committee that I started when I became chair, because those of us who work in downtown Joliet, like you and I do, we know that it's a great place to work and to eat and to play and to be, but there's a perception about downtown that is out there beyond the people who are there every day. And it's kind of a negative perception, and I think somewhat unfairly. So it's my goal to change that perception. And one of the easier ways you can do that is just changing your surroundings and make them a little bit more pleasant and take care of the low-hanging fruit. So what we've done is we've sent a letter to Public Works about things that are simply fixed and asking them to fix that. Removing of old signs that no longer are applicable. Power washing bricks and sidewalks and things like that that can be easily done. But beyond that, we're working as a committee to do a few more things to brighten up the downtown. Our flowers are always beautiful. We're adding more. We're having some hanging baskets this year. We're going to be wrapping some of the concrete flower pots with brightly colored fabric that will just brighten up the place and look better. That dock, the Ottawa Street dock, is not a beauty, to be sure, but we, instead of just having an eyesore there, we're going to be trying to spruce it up by putting a decorative decal, like a lit decal on the brick side of it, and then just maybe lining each tier with some LED lights and just trying to make it as nice looking as the thing can possibly be, because it's still a parking garage in the downtown. Just simple things this year. But down the line, we're looking to do more long-term things like decorate an alley with that so many different cities have now, with lined with murals and just lighting, going crisscrossing back and forth, and maybe some simple seating.
Sure.
So we're targeting that for the summer of 2022.
We saw a sort of a forerunner of that during New Orleans North,
Right.
when the alleys were used for entertainment. Two or three different alleys, I think, were used, and people loved it, just
Right.
absolutely loved it. So
Yes.
it's happening in Joliet now. Megan Millen, thank you. Thank you for your leadership as chair of the City Center Partnership. Thank you for being really someone who is, not just saying things, but getting things done in downtown Joliet. And each and every one of you are invited, particularly now during our Eat to Challenge promotion going on. Right now in the month of April, you can be the one that get that $500 check, and then you also get to award that money to the person in the restaurant as well, right?
Right, yes.
Photos, fame, fortune, to cover your way here in the month of April. I hope you've enjoyed our time together here with Megan Millen. I'm Richard Fredrickson, and this has been Destination Downtown Joliet. Take care.